Hello, and welcome to today's episode of Baking with Brien. Today we're making Snickerdoodles. You want to start off by adding 1 cup of shortening to a large bowl. Follow that with 2 eggs. Worst egg crack in history. Now you want to add 1.5 cups of sugar. And then you want to stir until smooth. Until it looks like that. Now in another bowl, you want to mix 2.5 cups of flour, 2 teaspoons of cream of tartar, just added 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and a good sized pinch of salt. Now you want to whisk these all together. Now you want to take your dry mixture and put about half of it into your wet mixture and fold those together. Then add the second half, fold the rest of that in. I know I have like the weirdest folding technique ever. Now we'll be taking finally a third bowl, and it's perfectly fine to use the same bowl as the first one. We'll be putting a 1/4 cup of sugar, 2 teaspoons cinnamon, and now just that same whisk. Mix those together, like that. And now I always hand roll my cookies. I know that some people like to do spoons or whatnot, but I just find that they're better when they're nice and hand rolled. So you want to roll each one of your balls of dough into a ball, roll it in the sugar mixture, and then I'm setting them on an ungreased cookie sheet. And now if you're wearing an apron, that works well. If not, I suggest just draping an old hand towel over your shoulder, because you're going to want something after you work with this cinnamon mixture. When you sit down 1 ball of dough, wipe off the cinnamon that gets on your fingers before you start working with the next dough, or else your original dough gets contaminated. And now slip your delicious looking tray of dough balls into the oven, which has been preheated to 400 degrees. Now you want to wait for 6 to 10 minutes, making sure that they don't burn, but they turn a nice light golden brown. And you want them to just start looking like they're cracking on top like that. And then we're just going to let them cool for a couple minutes on the tray. Now that they've cooled for a minute or two, the last step is just to take them off the tray and put them on a cooling rack. Now just a couple of general cookie making tips that I have for you. When you have 1 batch in the oven, you have a couple of options. You can go one route and roll out all of your balls on a piece of wax paper, and that works really well, but you're still going to want to lay a piece of saran wrap over them. Or if you're like me and don't quite have the patience to roll them all out at once, you can cover the bowl each time with saran wrap. Especially with a cookie like this, you don't want it to dry out because it has to get that cinnamon and sugar mixture on it and get that to stick, and that's the dampness of the dough that does that. If you forget, an option that you have is just to wash your hands before you start again. Dry them, but you end up retaining enough moisture that you can get the dough wet again, just in the process of rolling it with your hands. If you use a spoon because you don't like the feel of it on your palms or whatnot, I don't really have any tips for you aside from to get over it and learn how to use your hands, because it's really, in my opinion, the best way to roll dough. So those are just a couple of general cookie making tips for you.